Family, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. This is Wake Up Bama for January 19th. It's Monday, and I have a question for you as we get into it. Tell me the truth. Were you ready to jump off the ship, okay? If Alabama was a cruise liner, all right, were you running to jump off? Did you think that Alabama had hit an iceberg? Be honest. Just tell me if you were. It's okay. You can be truthful inside the comment box. I think if you kind of look at Alabama like a ship, right? I think they hit some chop. I don't think it was an iceberg, okay? And I was telling everybody, yo, be patient, be patient. It's not sinking, okay? Bad taste in the mouth from the beginning of the year. We went through some chop, 100%. But I told you, stay positive. Did I not? And this was before the monster weekend, okay? Thursday started to kind of heat up. And I think as we are starting to think about the names that could come in, the names that could commit, we were like, my goodness, is this true? Could these guys really commit to Alabama? Could these guys be a part of this signing class? There's no way they're going to get Terrance Green. There's no way they're going to get Nick Brooks, right? There's no way that they're going to get these guys to commit to the program. They're poor. They're broke. They can't do it, right? Alabama's in the back of the Mount Moore practice facility lifting weights in a trailer, right? Like, could this really be happening? And then, boom, Racing Delgado. He commits. And you're like, okay, got a center. Boom, Nick Brooks. And you're like, oh, okay. It starts to set up a little bit straighter, right? Boom, Ethan Fields. Okay, you're like, wow. Okay, good. Our linemen are coming in. Boom, Terrance Green, right? And so when that started to happen, it created this snowball effect. And we got really cooking. And then on Sunday, right, we're kind of sitting, right? Go to church, pray, be grateful. And then around the midday point, it was around 11:55 p.m. Central Time, Desmond Umeozulu commits to Alabama Crimson Tide. Edge rusher out of South Carolina. And you're like, what? You mean the 6'6", 255-pound prospect, he committed to Alabama after Terrance Green, the 6'6", 330-pound defensive tackle? No. Are you serious? Yeah, it happened. All that happened, okay? I say all that to say this, fam. Look, I don't want to pretend, okay, that everything is like perfect. It's not. But the truth is, the way that Alabama handled the transfer portal, I have to give kudos to the staff. That's kind of my first point. That's my major point right now as we enter in this beautiful Monday on Martin Luther King Day. I'm saying great job, staff, because the way that they handled needs and then wants and some big ticket items and really putting some guys onto the roster that makes sense from a financial standpoint, that makes sense from a roster standpoint. Say it with me, fam. We like it. Let me ask you this, okay? Do you feel better waking up on this beautiful Monday, having your coffee, right? Do you feel better about the roster? And I get it. These guys fully have to perform, and we have to see if they have the dog mentality because that's what we want. And that's a standard here is a dog mentality. That's the reason you like the podcast. Because you're like, you know what? Kyle has pride in performance. He's going to show up for work every single day, right? I don't even know like what the dude is cooking, whatever. The guy's consistent in his approach, right? You need to see that from these guys. And I fully understand that there's a lot of people out there that are hurt, that are wounded, that have a little bit of PTSD from that kid that decided to come over here and basically use it as a leverage point to go somewhere else. I get it. That hurt me too. There was a caller that we had called in on Sunday, and he was like, what's the difference between a commitment and somebody who signed? That didn't used to be the case, right? But now everybody is jaded by it because of once you get burned, you don't want to get burned twice. You know what I'm saying? So you have a right to be skeptical about commitment, about sign, about do these guys have the dog mentality or are they just kind of bag chasers that fit in here? Look, that's all going to have to shake out. But I think from a roster standpoint, did you take care of what you needed to have done, right? Did you go over your checklist and go through all the way? Did you need a quarterback? No. Did you need a running back? I don't know. Did you need some wide receivers getting there? Did you need some tight ends? You see what I'm saying? And you filled all those spots, specifically in the offensive line where you had to have a complete rehaul. And you did just that, right? You got a new center. You got some tackles to work with. And I don't know who's going to be the tackle. I don't know who's going to be the guards. But I'll tell you what, you have guys right now that are here that can at least provide competition to make things better on the offensive front. All right. So I'm a little pumped up this morning, okay? Because I wake up with this day, not only with gratitude for this day, but with an excitement about this roster, excitement about what could be, excitement about taking more steps forward. And did Alabama take a step forward from, the first year under the board to the second? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Now, can they take another step forward in a very critical year? I really hope they can. I really hope they can. And with that said, good morning to Wake Up Bama. It is Monday. It is a beautiful day. It is another day that the Lord has blessed us with. So let's enter this day knowing that it is a great opportunity to have a positive attitude and to enjoy this beautiful life, okay? Today on the program, all right, we're going to take a look at kind of the fact that the retention, it doesn't make the headlines, and I totally get that, but it's important that we highlight kind of the retention. All right. I also want to go over kind of, a couple more pieces on the transfer portal in terms of Alabama's continuing strategy to work the transfer portal now that we got 16, 17 guys. I think it's 17. We also got a good high school recruiting class, right? We can't forget about that. In fact, Alabama added Maurice Mathis from the class of 2026. We're going to talk about him as well a little bit. Talk about the new prospect who Alabama added on Sunday, who is Desmond Umeozulu. All right. I think I'm getting that right. I'm getting better and better, I hope. All right. We're going to talk about some transfer portal superlatives, kind of go all the way from the beginning all the way to the top. I think you're going to like that. And talk about a couple questions regarding the national championship game, which is taking place tonight between Indiana and Miami. Let me know who you think is going to win that game inside the comment box. Do you think that Curt Cignetti has the undefeated season this year? I didn't think anybody would win the national championship. So all that and more right here on Wake Up Bama. And again, thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you so much. And look, we want to say thank you to our Wake Up Bama sponsors. We got Nicholas Harden, Case Noodles, Lag Gaming, George Harden, and Tom Hammer. Yo, if you want to become a Wake Up Bama sponsor, how do you do that? Hit that join button. I appreciate you guys' opportunity to even be a fan funder. There's different levels. You guys can sign up. You guys can cancel. But I want to work for this. I don't want to just be gifted it. I want to look, if you need consistency and performance, I get it. I totally get it. Right. So thank you for your consideration in doing that. I really appreciate that. Yo, you want to buy me a coffee so I can stay amped up so I can give it a go. Right. I really appreciate that too. This is kind of a new feature that I added. You got a Venmo option on Bama_YouTube and then Bama YouTube through Cash App. All right. So very easy to find me on those two different platforms. And then also, video is powered by Sleeper. Thank you so much, Sleeper. Use the promo code, which is Tailgate. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100 when you use the promo code, which is Tailgate. You download the app. You just get $20 by downloading it, and then 100 on 100. It'd be great to play with the national championship tonight, kind of more or less, or if you're into the NFL playoffs. So with all that said, thank you so much for joining me today on Wake Up Bama. All right, a couple of things that I do want to talk about, okay? And I don't want to lose sight about the retention of quality players. Do you agree with me? We're highlighting all these guys that are coming in. We're excited about them, and we have a right to be excited about new guys that are joining up, to come over here to the capstone and be a part of something great, something that we hope can be great. But let's not lose sight of the players that we retained, right? Like, I wish there would be, I don't know. I feel like there wasn't a lot of happiness when we found out Yanzi Pierre was coming back. I wanted that to be like a bigger deal. Bray Hubbard, love him coming back. And Keon Sabb posted that, and people were like, me. Yo, you're talking about Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard both having a combined 1,600 snaps coming back. You're talking about Yanzi Pierre having 616 snaps coming back. ZB's coming back. Dejon Lee's coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm excited about the retention on the defensive side. The secondary is outstanding. And then on the offensive side, of course, you had to bring back Hollywood, right? The real Hollywood. Lazier Brooks re-signed. That was huge, right? And Michael Carroll, he's the one component that you have back. And I think we can all agree he's the only offensive lineman that was worth retaining in the first place. So I love the retention standpoint. And I think going into this year, those guys will play a critical role. And I think, to be honest, this is how now that kind of the dust is starting to settle, and I still think you're going to add more from the transfer portal. But now that I have a clear idea of how to work the transfer portal, this is what I'm doing. I'm going retention. I'm going recruiting, But how I'm managing recruiting, I'm getting 3 to 5 stars, kind of those you can't let them get out, right? But I'm going for recruiting to be developmental pieces. So nobody knows about them. I keep them in kind of waiting. You can pay them whatever a 3 or 4 star value is. You don't overpay them. You make them have the Clubber Lang mentality. They get tough. They get hungry. They want to play. They're unproven, so they can't just bounce out to anywhere else because they're a 5-star, right? You develop those guys, right? And then from the transfer portal, what you do is you fill up the needs and you get on some wants. And that's how you build the perfect roster. Do you agree with me? Retention, a bunch of hungry dogs recruiting, top-end guys, of course. That makes sense. And then go out to the transfer portal and kind of load up on the other pieces that you need and get a couple additional pieces of weaponry. I think that's how you build the perfect roster, in my opinion. Okay. Speaking of building the roster, we got Desmond Umeozulu. All right, he checks in. 6'6", 255 pounds. He appeared in 36 of 37 games. I got contacts everywhere. I reached out to a contact in South Carolina, asked him about Desmond, and he was like, look, he's a guy that hasn't reached his full potential yet. He's a guy that definitely passes the eyeball test, has some athleticism, but is yet to really be like a game changer. Maybe he can come over here and get coached up to be that guy. He does have some experience, 30 career tackles, 2.5 sacks for loss, 1.5 sacks total, and 6 quarterback hurries. But I think from a bandit position, you needed a guy like this to really come in and at least provide some competition for that group. While I'm excited about him and it's fun to think about maybe he could be the starter, I wouldn't go past Fatoa Henry also pushing. I wouldn't go past maybe some Devin Tompkins playing that bandit position as well. I wouldn't go past like Nolan Wilson as a true freshman playing at that spot as well. So I think the best thing about getting Desmond in is you got a guy who has the athletic build for that position, but it's going to create competition at that position. So I think going in, Bandit is still open, to be honest. Now, it's fun to put him on the graphics and be like, yeah, this is the guy. I think it's going to be open competition at the Bandit, which it should be. Yo, we want to see who wants it. We want to see who can have that consistency on the field and get after the quarterback at that Bandit position. That Bandit position is very vital in Alabama's 4-2-5 defense under Kane Womack. So I think it was a really great addition and eager to see him during spring football. All right, Alabama also added Maurice Mathis. He's a class of 2026 wide receiver out of Houston County, right? And he committed to Alabama on Sunday, January 18th. He's part of that class of 2026, so he'll be a true freshman this coming season. Kind of the small detail, caught for over 1,000 yards, caught a handful of touchdowns, more than a handful. I think it was like 10 or 11. He's got a really good frame, about 6'1", 190 pounds, natural hands, really good, deep downfield ball catcher. And I think he shows a lot of potential, and he could be a versatile wide receiver that is added to that room. Alabama now has 8 wide receivers on its roster. Probably want to get up to 10, I would imagine, but they just added MJ Cherwig, number 23 from last year, who was a walk-on. You saw him in all the highlights. The guy is like Velcro, to be honest, and he caught a touchdown against Louisiana Monroe last season from Keelan Russell. So don't sleep on number 23, Cherwig. He's a guy, and then you also welcome in Maurice Mathis. So Alabama loading up with some complementary pieces at the wide receiver position. In my mind, you don't need a superstar at the wide receiver position. You already got superstars, right? You need complementary pieces. You need guys who can play on scout team, which is super important. You need guys that can step up when someone goes down a little bit, right? So like you bring in Noah Rogers, that's your big piece that will fight for the starting position. You got Rico Scott back, who should fight for a starting spot or be ready to go. Derek Meadows entering his second year. Sedarian Morgan, he's going to play. Got Ryan Williams, got Lazier Brooks. You got superstars. You don't need superstars. You need guys that can give the defense looks and be strong during practice, right? So look for Cherwig to do that, as well as some of these other younger cats, which it's part of the game, right? Part of the game. Okay. Now we kind of get into my transfer portal superlatives. And as I always ask, as we're getting to this, please, let's get over 500 likes. Can we do that? I think we missed the mark on Sunday's episode. So let's boost this up, all right? There's even a hype feature that you can hit. So Let's hit the thumbs up. Let's hype it up. Let's share it with our friends and family. If you're like, yo, if someone asks you, like, why do you have all this information about Alabama football? Be like, yo, well, Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube, is a machine. So sends it out. But I'd be really gracious if you spread the word about the YouTube channel. Okay. All right. Transfer portal superlatives. I'm going to go 1 through 17. All right. This should be fun. And you agree. You let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Okay. In terms of an immediate playmaker, all right, how about Noah Rogers, wide receiver out of NC State? I think he's comparable size-wise to Jeremy Bernard, but he's got a little bit of bite to him. And what I mean by bite is like you get on the football, boom, 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 boom. He's going to make you miss, right? He's going to jump over you. He's going to make outstanding plays. So did Germ, right? We all think of the catch that should be in the Louvre. But this guy's got a little bit more bite to him. You could even put him theoretically to like return punts. He can make you miss. So I think coming in with 66 career receptions, the guy has solid hands. I would imagine that he'll push to start. I think if you go out there right now, I'd probably have Noah Rogers, Ryan Williams, Lazier Brooks. Okay. So playmaker, let's go with Noah Rogers. Let me know what you think inside the comment box about that. Okay. Let's talk about like a kind of a guy that can be like an added blocker outside of the tight end, kind of like a chain mover, right? A big body. And I think that's going to go with Josh Ford, tight end. We missed having Robbie Oots this last season. You agree? I like the kid's game. He was really, really good in 12 personnel when you have two tight ends out there. It's just a big body to run behind. I think Josh Ford adds that already. Okay, so he's a Oklahoma State transfer, 6'6", 260 or something like that. Massive dude. I think you get him in. Imagine this setup, okay? You got Josh Ford over here. You got Nick Brooks at right tackle. You got Daniel Hill running behind him. You put, Ty Haywood at guard. That's a lot of beef running at you, okay? You better be able to run the football, all right? So I got Josh Ford as kind of helping the chains move, okay? Let's talk about maybe highest upside for an interior lineman. I kind of like this Caden Strayhorn. The more I learn about him and read about him, this guy played a lot in the recent Holiday Bowl between Michigan and Texas. He played a lot, and they had high hopes for him at Michigan. Getting a quality interior offensive lineman, a guy that can play center, was a must for Alabama. So give me like the highest upside down the road. I got Caden Strayhorn. Future anchor of the offensive line. Okay, this one was a little bit tough. Could have gone a couple different ways. But what about Ty Haywood? Can Ty Haywood get to that level that we want him to be at? I think he's athletic enough, honestly, to play guard or tackle. But can he really be and emerge to be that guy we want him to be? Future anchor. Come on, Ty. We believe in you. I can't wait to see this kid. And I think sometimes I get super excited about the transfers coming in. And I don't want to sleep on guys that we already have here. It's just fun to think about. You're like, man, finally, because this guy should have been here. Ty Haywood should be entering his second year at Alabama, right? I think when you look at the most physically imposing transfer, there's two guys you could have gone with, right? Terrance Green or Nick Brooks. I'm going to go with Nick Brooks here. He's a monster. I've seen him 6'7", 350. I've seen 340. He's a little bit bigger than Terrance, but my goodness. Because Caden Proctor was kind of that guy for us, right? Nick Brooks is basically the same size. Now, I think what's going to matter most with Nick Brooks is what does his athleticism look like? How much can he improve? And I know Texas really liked him. They didn't want him to leave. They gave him some opportunities to start last year for the Longhorns, but I think one of the downsides sometimes with some of the linemen that we get in is they just haven't been as dominant. They haven't been as athletic. And a guy like this, he seems to be athletic. He seems to kind of check the boxes that we need. All right, moving on. Best plug and play. I think that's absolutely Racing Delgatti. You needed a center. You needed somebody to come in here that had experience, that has a size, that is intelligent enough to be that guy, and I 100% have Delgatti starting at center. I think the offensive line, I show different graphics. I have no idea. It's fun to kind of think back and forth, but Your guess is as good as mine. I think we kind of have an idea, but we can all agree that Delgado's got the center position, at least kind of going into, this third week of January, whatever. Let me know if you agree, if you don't agree. I mean, he has over 30 career starts, right? All of them pretty much at center. Okay. Best pass protection, possibly in the future in best pass protection. Could it be Ethan Fields? I don't know. He has a really high pass blocking grade of like 83.4, but it wasn't in a lot of snaps. He didn't play a lot, but I think from the snapshot that we see and the grades that he has, it looks like that's an area that he can excel. I'll tell you where I like Ethan Fields, clearly at guard, but I think you're going to have hella competition at guard, right? You got Ethan Fields, you got Will Sanders, you got Casey Poe. I don't know if, who else plays guard. Sometimes I think Michael Carroll, but maybe he won't. So you got some guards in there, and I think Ethan Fields will battle, and hopefully Ethan Fields can be a guy. I think he's a quality addition, to be honest. He didn't have any sacks, but he didn't play a lot. I think he played like 65 snaps last year for Ole Miss. All right. Talking about a guy that has some of the most experience in terms of the defensive front that Alabama added, going over my superlatives kind of one by one, and that's got to be Devin Tompkins. He's a very experienced player that is going to play both inside and he's going to play that bandit position, right? He's appeared in nearly, I think it's 35 or 36 total games. So that's a lot of experience. He's an upperclassman. We needed a guy like this. Now, he's bigger than some of our bandits that we've had traditionally, but I've seen him on film, and he's got good movement, got good athleticism. He's probably, after Terrance Green, I'd say like the most player I'm excited to see like on the field in terms of movement would be Devin Tompkins. I mean, 6'6", 290? Let's see what you got, man. All right, talking about a player in like the best developmental player that you're bringing in, I was thinking about this. Caleb Smith, okay? He didn't play, I don't think at all at Washington, but he's 6'5", 270. I love him because he played tight end in high school as well, out of Parker High School, right? Maybe we can get him up to speed and he can be kind of a reserve depth piece that kind of rises up. I heard really good things about his overall athleticism. I don't know if he's like SEC ready. I think he's, kind of in development, but he's got a lot of years left. I think it's 3 years left. Most battle-tested interior defender, and that's clearly Terrance Green. We needed this. This is my number one transfer. Got 270 snaps last year at Oregon. You lose Tim Keenan, who's your big defensive plug. You fill it with an even bigger defensive plug. TK was great for us. His kind of his attitude, his demeanor. We need Big Green to come over here and just be the machine, right? The big green mean machine. 6'6", 330 pounds. We need him just to fill up that entire space. I am so happy. I was like shocked. I was like, wow, they got Terrance Green. I was like, ooh, man. That made me like sit up. I was like, wow. Oof. Okay, couple more to go. Best run stuffer. That could be a reserve piece, and that's Kedrick B. Jones, right? The nose tackle out of Mississippi, 330 pounds, about 6'4", another plug. So you got Jeremiah Beeman, you got Terrance Green, you throw in Kedrick B. Jones, right? You got some good guys back there in terms of some big bodies that Alabama definitely needed. Edgekill, Faga, they kind of fit into that role as well. Most reliable linebacker addition, 100%, is Caleb Woodson. Over 40 career, I think it's over 140 career tackles, which is outstanding. He's played in a ton of games over the last couple of years. The experience, it was definitely needed at that position, and that is something that he adds to Alabama's defense. Best small school kind of jump in, and I think that's got to be, I was either thinking like Adam Watford from North Alabama, but how about we go with Carmelo O'Neal? Right? Yo, Carmelo O'Neal came from Mercer, and he's jumping up to Alabama, and he's going up against all those other safeties. 6'4", 200 pounds. He played in 700 snaps or more last year. He had like 32 tackles. I don't know. I mean, I love the fact that this guy wants to come in and compete. I would have looked at that safety roster and be like, yo, man, I could probably go somewhere else. He wants to come over here, and iron sharpens iron. So love that. I think most trustworthy specialist, right, or biggest leg added, how about Lorcan Quinn? The guy has 80% on career field goals. He was 4 of 6 from 50 yards out. This was a stellar addition. I mean, you're never going to like celebrate kicker too much, but you know what it's like to not have a good kicker. You know what it's like to not have consistency from a kicker. Lorcan Quinn, I think, can provide that and is an added boost. How about kind of a hidden gem? We don't talk about special teams right after it. The kicker, right? Adam Watford. He averaged, I think it was like 46.3 yards per punt right out of North Alabama, right? You get him over here, you needed a punter. Someone on the show on Sunday was missing J.K. Scott. They were missing James Burnup. We need a punter that can flip the field. Such a huge advantage when you have a reliable punter. Let's not sleep on the special teams at all. And kind of the most underrated addition might be a long snapper. You want a long snapper that has a lot of experience. So you get in Ethan Tangle, and he's that guy from Syracuse, right? We've had good long snappers in the past. You don't want a bad long snapper, trust me. And then I think kind of the best kind of late addition is, without a doubt, Desmond. And I think losing LT, losing Keon Keeley, losing Jordan Nod, you needed bodies there for competition. So grabbing in Desmond today or on Sunday was absolutely key addition. Now, can he become a starter? We'll see. But at least we got a competition piece to kind of rise up the room. All right. Let me know what you think on those superlatives. And I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Let's talk real quick. Miami and Indiana play tonight. Who you got? Let me know inside the comment box. You taking type M for Miami, type I for Indiana. All right. Now, I have a couple questions to ask you about the game. We're not going to do like a game preview, but I have a couple questions to ask you about these two particular teams, okay? Do you think that Curt Cignetti, do you think he was smart enough? Do you think that this was like fully intentional to build like an older roster? Do you think he kind of found like a loophole and he's like, yo, let's build a semi-pro team. Let's go out and get older guys that are more developed. People don't really know about these guys, but let's build an older team. Man, if they did, that's genius, okay? Especially, this is his second season. He was just at James Madison. They brought over some guys, yeah, but the guys they added, this is an old team, right? Think about, we had ZB out there guarding like Surratt. Come on. That's like NFL in college. That, you know what? There's always that thing you're like, hey, I wonder if the best college team, how would they do against the worst NFL team? It would be ugly, okay? Now, somebody said that Indiana's team is as old as the Green Bay Packers. I'm dead. Did you hear this? That's what Indiana is. That's why I think Indiana beats Miami. I think it's going to be a good game. But isn't that, like, statistics stand out? That's why, like, even the best teams that we've had in the past against, like, a lower level NFL team, there would be no comparison. And now you've seen like what Indiana is doing with the older team. Did they do that on purpose is my question. Or did they kind of just stumble on a diamond? And I also kind of wonder too about this. Did Indiana kind of prioritize culture? Guys that fit in like within the culture had buy-in over kind of like talent rankings? I don't know. It seemed like Curt Cignetti had like a very specific plan about guys he wanted. And I'm talking about guys who wanted to be buy in and could follow kind of that type of leadership. Miami, I know what they do. Miami's just like, okay, who's the best quarterback? Who's the most expensive? Carson Beck, $6 million. Ty Simpson, $7 million. How about the Duke's quarterback, $10 million? Pretty soon Miami's going to pay for $10 million, $20 million for the quarterback. But at the end of the day, I will say this, okay, about each of these teams. And, I've watched Miami throughout the season, and, of course, I've watched Indiana. And is specifically late in the season, I've seen characteristics both that stand out to me, okay? one, Miami has committed to rushing the quarterback. They obviously have to do that tonight. That has to be a big part of their game, is getting heat on Fernando Mendoza. And I get it. That could put pressure on the secondary, and those receivers are elite, and Fernando Mendoza has been absolutely cooking. But they have done that. Bama did not. Do you agree? Okay. The second thing is a commitment to running the football. And I'm going to kind of go off on something next. I often talk about this, but I have to get this off my chest. Indiana and Miami have a commitment to running the football. I love Indiana's system. It kind of reminds me of Alabama's old system under Coach Saban, where you had two running backs that can just ground and pound and break you down, right? And I think Miami can do that too. There's been times in the playoffs where each of these teams have ran the ball over 50 times. When Indiana played Alabama, they ran the ball like 51 times. I mean, it was terrible, right? So then I started thinking about it, and as I was watching the Seattle Seahawks absolutely destroy my San Francisco 49ers, I was like, you know what? I want to bring this up to the fans again, okay? So did you know this? Okay, and now I'm kind of talking about a commitment to the run game. And how important do you think this is going forward? And why has no running back committed over here, right? There's been some running backs in play. Do you think it's because it's about the statistics I'm about to read to you, or something else? So the Seattle Seahawks, okay, in 2024, they finished 28 out of the 32 teams, okay, in the NFL running the ball. They didn't make the playoffs, okay? Kenneth Walker had 150 carries for 573 and 7 touchdowns. Chabaret had 135 carries for 569 yards and 8 touchdowns. Okay, so they kind of ran the ball, right? But it was overly underused, right? No identity, and it was mostly like Geno Smith just passing, right? He threw for almost 5,000 yards. Didn't make the playoffs, 28 out of 32. Now, after the season, Mike McDonald fired Ryan Grubb and Scott Huff, the offensive line coach and the OC, right? Who were both a part of Kalen DeBoer's regime at Washington. So the Seattle Seahawks now this year, after finishing 28 out of 32 in the NFL in 2024, Seattle finished now 11 out of 32 this season, okay? Kenneth Walker, remember, previous season, he ran for 573. This year, he ran for 1,000 yards, okay? Chabaret, remember last year, he ran for 569. This year, he ran for 730 and 12 touchdowns. They were the number 1 seed in the NFC. They're now playing in the NFC Championship game, okay? And I think the takeaways are more carries, more physicality, more control, controlling the tempo of the game, right? And that's led them just one game away from playing in the Super Bowl. I think the big picture to me is you can throw the ball all you want, right? But you can still be considered soft. But I think if you can run the football and you can be physical, and you can most importantly be physical in November, December, right? That leads to playing football in January. You agree with me? You got to be physical in the back end of the season because teams are a little bit banged up, right? It's been a long season. Can you run the ball? Can you sustain, and can you commit to running the ball late in the season, throughout the season? Because I think Indiana's figured it out. They're going to ground, and then Mendoza's going to go over the top and he can eat you up. Can you do that? Can you commit to doing that, right? That's the biggest thing that we got to do this year. 100% is an improved physical offensive line, more commitment to pass rush, and we got to run the ball better. I'm not saying go wishbone. I'm saying run the ball, make them quit, right? Make them quit. But I hope you have enjoyed my segment. Okay, coming up next, the call-in portion of Wake Up Bama. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for always kicking it with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube at 4 a.m. Central Time. I hope you have a beautiful day and enjoy this beautiful life. We have a lot of blessings that are so abundant, right? Just even waking up, that's the biggest blessing in life, right? Am I right? At least to start the day. I love you guys so much, and thank you very much for kicking me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I will catch you guys live at 10 a.m. or as major news happens, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now, the call-in show starts. Chris, what's up, man? Good to hear you. Good to hear from you. Go ahead.
Kyle, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, bro.
First of all, I want to say your rant about the positivity yesterday was outstanding, my friend. Outstanding.
Oh, thank you.
And, I want to let you know your friend Chris from New Jersey, he's been pretty positive all month. So I know that rant wasn't directed to me. Now, let's keep this positive, but in a little. I don't want to dig too many people because they're all my pals in the chat. But Kyle, I have a very serious question to ask you. What game this year did Coach Kapilovic put on a helmet and shoulder pads and thigh pads and go in there and block for Ty Simpson? Which game was that, Kyle?
I think it was the playoff game against Oklahoma. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, I mean, kids, this guy, you got to go on the field and block. I mean, and Ty is setting the protection. So, at some point you got to say the players on the field have to do their job. So let's go back to positive time. It's Sunday and it's snowing here in Montclair, New Jersey. Kyle, this is a major upgrade on every front. We said this a couple days ago. It got even better. The funny thing was on Friday we were like, oh, by the end of the day we're probably going to get more. Who knew we were going to get this many? This is great, Kyle.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's been promising for sure.
I'm not feeling good, Kyle. I'm feeling great. So that's all I'm calling to say is positive. This is and everybody. Courtney Morgan. I know I say it a lot in the chat. Is the man, and I've said in Courtney Morgan we trust. They get it, and by the way, you don't think that like Clinton Dix and Courtney Morgan talk? The staff talks. So when he came out with that tweet, like we're looking for more production, we're looking at the tape. These guys that they're signing, what do you think they do? These guys are looking at their tape. Oh, and I'll go. But the one last thing is don't sleep on the kid from Virginia Tech, Kyle. I think I know we got all these guys are fantastic, Kyle. Don't get me wrong. But the sleeper in this whole, and he's a day one starter, Woodson. So, all right, that's it. Listen, Kyle, thank you for what you do. I like the cooking show. That's another little ad. So we appreciate you. Happy Sunday. My best to you, my best to your family, my best to the undefeated. Roll Tide, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thank you so much for leading off the show. That is Chris from New Jersey. We go to the phone lines. We got Cody calling in. Cody, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Cody from Crestview. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, Kyle, how have you been so far?
Amazing as usual, man. You know me, living in Positive Town, just covering this absolute burner of a weekend as Alabama is slicing up the transfer portal. Come with it, man. Welcome to the show.
Look at this. I love your rant, by the way, about positivity. I don't know which rant is better, my rant or your rant. But listen, I gotta talk to you about few stuff. I really don't think. I do know that recently, brother visited Ole Miss recently, and right now that's his leading favorite. I want to bring his brother to Alabama for a change and see about that stuff. Second part about it is Arian Carter. Right now he has Ole Miss and like A&M and Oregon and all that stuff. Alabama's still in the mix for him. The reason was this: Arian Carter kind of reminds me of Xavier Griffin, but he doesn't have that quick step, but he does have that raw aggression. But it's going to be technically hard for to land him as a linebacker. He could fit, like if you put Xavier Griffin and like Arian Carter, where I think it is bandit position or whatever it's called, the bandit position.
Yeah,
I mean those are some dogs. Those are some dogs out there.
Yo, Cody, let me ask you real quick, Cody. What do you think about Desmond Zulu coming in? Were you pretty pumped up about him? To be honest, and I know, look, he might not have had the most overwhelming production at South Carolina. I still think 36 out of 37 games and being his size and like what he brings from that bandit position, I'm really excited about it. What about you? What's your take on that?
Let me see. He's 6'6" and 246, right?
I have 255 from his from the South Carolina official, but yeah, either way, what are your thoughts?
So he's about 6'6" and 250. I put him as a sleeper, probably like a Lawrence Taylor into the linebacker where Caden Jones is. You know what I'm talking about? But more or less, I like him as a blitz package. He's like a Dylan Stewart. I would use him as a blitz package. But what happened is the best, hands down. Do you want to know what the best position is right now? That is the front row seat of everything. You want to know what it is?
What's that,
Kyle?
What's that?
Defensive tackle. Because I can see the offensive linemen and how they talk. I can see the quarterback and when he makes his adjustments, and I can see the running back when he goes up the middle. I told him, I said, defensive tackle, they know every scheme. They'll know the offensive movement. They'll know the quarterback adjustments. They'll know the running back. They'll see everything. They got the seat in the house, right in the little trenches. And guess what? If you get a guy like Zulu, which we have, guess what? Them and those other linebackers, like the Virginia Tech guy and everybody else, they're going to feast on that type of mentality, because now they're going to see the adjustments and they will attack into like a butt package, or they're going to shut some people down at a lockdown defense. I think they could do like a lockdown defense where in the trenches, it's going to be hard for like Texas A&M to run 20 yards on certain plays up the middle. They're going to only probably run like 3 yards a carry. So I think thoughts on that, Kyle? I think you can use that edge guy as a blitz package.
All right, thanks thanks for calling in, Cody. I'll answer on the other line, bro. Thanks for calling in as usual.
Okay.
All right, Cody out in Crestview. Thank you so much. You got a 205 and a 317 coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of disagree about Zulu. I think that he's going to be someone that comes in here and is a guy that starts for Bama at the bandit position. And I think, as you kind of look to maybe some defensive fronts right here, I like the fact that maybe Devin Tompkins, who they got in from USC, maybe you can rotate these guys kind of in and out. And we needed a guy like this. And I think you guys are bringing a lot to the table in terms of that bandit position and what does the bandit position now look like for Alabama, right? And I think when you look to bandit, you got Desmond Zulu, you got Fatoa Henry, Caleb Smith, and Nolan Wilson. I know you guys have asked me to add Jamarian Matthews there as well. I guess we'll see how it goes, but I think I'm feeling so much better about where we stand at the bandit position than where we did 5 days ago. 205. Hey,
Kyle.
Yeah.
This is Nick from Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm just calling to say I think I'm real excited about what we got, because it was looking real grim there for a minute. But I think everybody that wanted Coach Cat fired, even me, I think DeBoer's going to give him another year to get all his players in. They completely overhauled the offensive line, and he got to go out and get the guys he wanted to fit that scheme. So, and I also I don't believe everybody, as much as we love Saban and his disciples, this is Kalen DeBoer era, and I believe Kalen DeBoer is going to get, Jeremy Pruitt and all that. I don't believe they're coming to Alabama.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic to think of, as much as we would love to see it.
I agree,
I'd love
Nick.
to.
100%. I'd like Coach Saban. I'd like Coach Saban back too.
Oh yeah, wouldn't we all? Yeah, 10 years younger at least, and have him back, that would be great. But college football has completely changed, and so for the ones that think that we're just going to dominate every year, I think Alabama's going to be real competitive every year. It can be in the playoffs every year, but I think shooting for a national championship or bust, we can always hope for it, and I always believe Alabama's going to be up there at the top, but I don't believe it's going to happen every other year like it did.
Mm-hmm.
It was great while it lasted, but I'm 45. I've seen the good, the bad, the middle. I've seen it all. So, and I'll be an Alabama fan to the day I die. But I just wanted to call in, give my input on it.
Yep.
I love the show, and I try to be here. I follow a lot of Alabama content creators, and some people know me on here. So anyway, I've I love Wake Up Bama, man. You killing it on that. So keep up, love your hard work and what you put into it. And we really appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in. All right, Nick from the 205 calling in. We'll go to our next call. We got a 317. Hey, yeah, what's up, man? Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Ian Holmes from Indiana.
I'm sorry, what was your first name?
Ian Holmes.
Hey, what's up, Ian?
Ian.
I appreciate you, man. Calling in from, you say Indiana?
Yeah.
Are you a Hoosiers fan?
Nah, Alabama. I had to deal with. So I'm a senior. And I had to deal with that at school.
Oh man, wait. So you go to Indiana, like University of Indiana?
No.
Okay, all right. I was like, whoa. All right, man. Okay.
I'm going to go to University of Purdue.
Oh, West Lafayette. Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Got you, man. Well,
all right.
Welcome on in, bro. Come with it, man. Welcome to the show.
So I was like, me playing receiver in high school, right? It's just like our guys at receiver that we have. It's like they're just not it. Like I feel like we could have done a lot more in the portal, and I feel like we're kind of playing it. And I get why we think the receivers we have right now are good enough, and I see why it's important to get all the defensive players. I think it's all important, but I don't think Ryan Williams is that good. He can't catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And Lasier Brooks, he's super small. I just don't see how our team with this O-line, I don't see and it's gotten better, but I don't think our receivers can get open fast enough for the quarterback anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all I had a question about.
Yeah, I'll answer on the other line, man. Thanks for calling and good luck at Purdue, bro. Call in again.
All right.
Yeah, so Ian's talking about the wide receivers. So look, I think clearly Ryan Williams had a case of the drops. It was crazy. It was like Ryan Scissorhands out there, right? I never sold on the kid, and here's why. I think you look at the overall playmaking ability. He went through a sophomore slump. I don't know, maybe like him and whoever didn't mesh well, whatever it is. I still believe in Ryan Williams, and that's crazy. That's hard. That's coming from me, somebody who can be really, critical. Like if you don't get the job done, because I'm kind of from the old school. Is like if you don't get the job done, boom, you're done, right? I'm very critical on Ryan Grubb right now. That's kind of my target list. But for Ryan Williams, I do see a lot of upside, right? Lasier Brooks, I think he's a guy that should definitely be featured more. At the end of the season, Lasier Brooks was the team's #1 wide receiver. He wasn't featured at all during the Rose Bowl, which I'm still a little bit mad about. Noah Rogers, he comes in from NC State, and I think he's got a little bit of twitch to him. I really do. I think when you look at a guy like that, he's kind of similar in my mind to Jeremy Bernard, which is crazy, but I think he's a little bit more twitchy. And what I mean by that is just turn on the tape and watch him. He's got a little bit of shift to him, a little shimmy, a little shake. Other wide receivers in the room, you got Sedarian Morgan, you got Derek Meadows, right? You got Rico Scott, MJ, and then the young man that just signed as a freshman. So, look, the receivers. Jeremy, he had a good year, not a memorable, ridiculous year. He didn't catch for 1,000 yards. Alabama hasn't had a wide receiver catch for 1,000 yards since 2021. That's crazy. All right. We have another call coming up. 334. Hey,
Kyle,
what's up?
John from Montgomery.
John, welcome on in. I appreciate it.
Thank you. When you say so-and-so has committed,
yes,
what do you mean committed? You remember we got catfished one time by the guy from NC State, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. So this is a great question. I think that what happened with the NC State guy is he put so much PTSD into literally probably hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, that sort of stuff is what makes the transfer portal disgusting, right? The fact that you look at Carson Beck, he's getting ready to play in the national championship. He's not even going to school, right? This is where we're headed with college football, and this is why people don't like it. committed means that the prospect did give a verbal commitment. Now, you're 100% right. Did the kid sign? And the way that the kids like officially signed is usually put out by the university. Now, and what I mean by that is the university will usually like put out an official graphic that the player has signed. It is kind of a gray area. From my understanding, it doesn't seem like any of these guys that are committed are going to waiver to another school at this point in time. What happened with Hollywood really burned people the right way. So when you're out there and you're committed, you're not going to buy it until you see the players in spring football. And I 100% get that, because what happened in that situation, it's just kind of where we're at with college football, but I totally understand it, man. What else you got, John?
That's it. Just wanted to know your definition.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we'll have to see then, John. Thanks for calling in from Montgomery. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
Right? What do you guys think? Are these guys committed? I love that call, right? Because you're like, okay, yeah, are they committed? Like, show me when they're on the field. Alabama does have a semester that'll open up in February for these guys. But, yeah, I think 100% is like, show me when they're on the field that they're there. I love it. I totally agree. All right, we'll take this next call. Hey, who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Henry? This is Marvin. I'm calling from Fort Carson, Colorado, brother.
All right, Marvin, what's up, man? You said you from Colorado?
Yes, sir.
What's up, Marvin? Welcome to the show, bro. Come with it, man.
Hey, thank you, my man. Hey, first of all, man, I'd like to wish you and your family God's grace, man. I think what you're doing is beautiful, man. I'm an Alabama fan to my heart, brother, and I just want to say what you're doing is on point, man.
Yeah,
and God got you covered and your family covered. So I'm with him and I'm with you, brother. I appreciate what you put out. Your product is amazing. And hopefully 2026, Alabama can get back to the standard.
Yeah, love it, man. Amen to that, man. Thank you so much. And I wish the same on you, bro. We never met each other before, but I think a lot of time there's nothing wrong with just praying for other people that are just, I think that's just part of life. It's just understanding that everybody needs a little bit of God's grace, and we need to be patient, and we need to be caring with people. And look, everybody inside the comment box, they're going through something. We have people inside the comment box that are going through stage 4 cancer, stage 4, right? Yeah. And they're still here. Yeah. And think about, what's crazy to me, Marvin, is like they're still here trying to get like Alabama Crimson Tide coverage. It's just, it's amazing. But think about what they're going through after the show's over, right? Yeah. Man, so I appreciate it, man. But anyways, Marvin, welcome to the show, man. Come with it, bro.
Yeah, like I said, man, I just hope and pray, man, we get it together. We need to get back to the standard, man. I'm a defensive-minded person. I don't like the 4-2-5 philosophy from Womack. I think Alabama has too much talent. I think they need to put in more blitz packages for this upcoming season. They use the talent and speed that they have.
Marvin, I think when you look to the defense, right? And thanks for the super chat, veteran. I really appreciate it. I have the defense pulled up on the board, just kind of like a snapshot overview. I mean, who knows if this is really good. I feel good about the secondary where we're at, but I don't know kind of the interchangeable guys on the defensive line. Don't you? The one area, would you agree with me that Kane Womack's defense took a step forward at least? Like they got better, right? Did they get better from year?
To some extent, I think when they played Vanderbilt, when I saw that game, I saw them edge a little bit closer to where they should be, but I think we need some help on the edge more so than anything. I got the D-line need to step up too, but that edge, we didn't really have it.
And I feel like that, like in my criticism would be, why aren't you sending more pressure? Why aren't you committing to making this quarterback absolutely miserable, right? That was the one, because I felt they got better in run defense and the secondary was fantastic, right? But like in terms of like pass rush, I'm like, why aren't we making this guy miserable? Like and you know what? The team that's playing tomorrow night, Miami, and I have no idea like what's going to happen tomorrow night. They committed to making your life miserable as a quarterback. That team has tremendous pass rush. And I think maybe this year, because of our talented secondary, maybe that will allow us to be a little bit more aggressive and play a little bit more man and be able to send some of these guys in different blitz formations. And really, because think about it, Yanzi Pierre only played 6-16. And he had, that's a lot of snaps actually, but he only had 6.5 sacks. Yanzi needs to have 10 to 15 sacks.
Yep.
That's where he needs to live.
At
And
least.
this guy, Desmond Zulu, who's coming in, he needs to be pressuring as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need to definitely turn up on pass rush. What else you got, Marvin?
Yeah, hey, but real quick, I'm going to throw a nugget out there to you. Just want you to think about it.
All right.
If 2026 goes south on the defensive side, can you envision Mike Tomlin coming in?
Oh,
Think about it. Think about it. You ain't got to respond now, but just think about it.
Oh, man. Mike Tomlin, man. You know, the Steelers have only had 3 coaches since, like, what, the 70s or something like that, which is crazy. Talk about be committed. All right, man. Take it easy.
Think about it.
All right, man. Thanks for the call, brother. Appreciate it, man.
All right on, brother.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see ya. All right, 470, let's do it. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's Keith from Dallas, Georgia.
What's up, Keith? Thanks for calling in for Dallas, Georgia, man. I appreciate it, man. Happy Sunday. Come with it, Keith.
Hey, man, just a quick question, man. What are you thinking about Coach Cap and that O-line, man? I got to be honest with you. I honestly believe that we underperformed there. And, you know, we had 4-star running backs, dinged up, whatever you want to call it. But it just seemed like we didn't scheme it right. We had great guys on the line, but they just didn't seem to know their assignments, so they couldn't get their feet moving fast enough. And to me, that's coaching. It's not 4-star, 5-star. And Indiana's proven you don't need, 4-star, 5-star to have a great offensive line. I'm just curious, man, has Coach Cap missed the boat? And is DeBoer going to is he going to do anything about it? That's all I got, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Keith, stay on the line real quick. Let me ask you a quick question, okay? Because you're talking about a major topic that a lot of people are interested in. So I want to, and I frequently bring this up just as kind of some examples about the offensive line. Would you say, in your honest assessment, that Caden Proctor improved from the year prior to this past season? Did he?
Absolutely. I agree. Yes.
So and then what? Because my point is, like, you look at some of these offensive linemen, they didn't improve that much. Like Parker Brailsford kind of stayed a little bit stagnant, maybe more on the trend up. Geno Vanderbark was just kind of what he was. But the biggest example is like a Wilcom Formby, right? They tried him out at a couple different positions, and we never really saw him like really improve. And what's really going to be like piss me off is that if he goes to Texas A&M and becomes like this All-American, right? And like, whenever we play him, it'll just show coaching. I personally am on the train that doesn't think that there'll be coaching changes going forward. At least, kind of going into the season. Coach Kalen DeBoer seems very loyal, which I love loyalty, but sometimes you can be loyal to a fault, as we all know. And my other example is this. I keep talking about the Seahawks, all right, who just beat up on my 49ers. Mike McDonald, after the season, okay, the 2024 season, when Grubb was the OC and Scott Huff was the offensive line coach, he cut bait with those guys. That wasn't it. And look where the Seahawks are at the next year, right? Do you think that's a coincidence or is it luck?
I do not.
No, he made.
I don't believe in luck. Luck is not a strategy.
100%. He made a grown man decision. He got rid of those guys, and it was better for the team. It's his job. Period. So, anything else, Keith?
No, you answered my question, and maybe I was wrong about Caden. I think Caden just grew because of his athletic ability. But regardless, I will leave with this. I'll leave with this. I think that Boer is heading in the right direction. I got faith in him. He's a great coach. I know all that, okay? And obviously nobody's going to be able to follow Saban to the degree that we want him to. Man, my first Iron Bowl was 1974. I've been pulling for Alabama. I met Bear Bryant on the field. I know these guys, and I've seen bad defense. I've seen good defense. I've seen bad offense. I've seen good offense. I'm telling you, if Bama doesn't fix the basic fundamental scheme of our offensive line, we're going to be 9-3, man. Yeah. I'll talk to you later.
See you, Keith. Good call, brother. All right, Keith from Dallas, Georgia. I love the call. 205, come with it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, what's going on, Kyle? This is Sam. How you doing?
Hey, Sam, where are you calling?
From New Orleans.
All right, Sam from New Orleans, one of my favorite cities, bro. Yo, I haven't been there in a minute, man. You know what? And I have some callers from New Orleans. Next time I go to New Orleans, all my fam from New Orleans, let's get together and let's eat some food. Seriously, maybe listen to some music. I'm 100% serious on that because I love that city. Anyways, Sam, welcome to the program, man. Come with it.
Hey, man, for sure we can do that, man. I'm excited, man, what's going on with all the new people we brought in, to be honest. I mean, I think, it started out rough, but, you just got to be patient, be honest, and just trust the process. Give these guys the opportunity to bring people in. Like now, it's on the board now. Like this is your third year. We're giving you opportunity. You got your own people that you want in your system.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're trying to work, and they're tackling the needs. I mean, we didn't need we would want to have a Cam Coleman and stuff like that. But I mean, the way these prices are with these people, and I'm calling it, like you said, it's like NFL contracts the way it is these days. If we needed to allocate that money towards what we really needed. And looking at the Indiana game, looking at the real games where we just got beat, it was up front, whether it's on the offensive line or defensive line. So, I mean, I like that we are, strategically getting better at those positions. And then from there, we'll be able to let the athletes be athletes. And, if Ryan will wake up and he can catch the ball again and, the junior year he go off, and we're a much better team. I mean, we did good not having our best player be our best player. So, I like what we're doing, man. And, I appreciate what you do as well for us giving us positivity.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call, Sam. Take it easy, man. Next time we're in New Orleans, man, we'll hang out. Take it easy, Sam. All right. Would that be cool? Maybe we should, what we should do is because I don't really travel during the season at all. In the springtime, I try to get out a little bit more. Maybe we do like the show from some various locations, right? And, we can post up at like a restaurant or something like that. We do the call-in show and then we could have like lunch after or whatever. Would you guys be down with that? And I think we got to hit, we kind of come up with like a Bama on YouTube regional tour. And what we'll do is we'll go and we'll do the show. And then we'll like have lunch and do like a Q&A, and we'll hit different spots. We'll hit up like, we'll do a city like New Orleans. We'll do like we got to do Gunnersville on the pier. We'll go down to like somewhere in LA, like Mobile or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll think about it. It'd be dope. We'll figure it out. Okay, 346. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're online with Kyle Anderson. Who am I online with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Cal. How's it going?
What's up, Jay? Appreciate you calling in, man. I was wondering, I need to get used to that number, man, but I'll get it at some point. Thanks for the call, man.
I mean, you got a couple times already. And sometimes I'm like, nah, he don't recognize. I'm like, dang.
So let me ask you, where are you on the road to right now?
I'm coming through Lincoln, Nebraska right now.
Lincoln, Nebraska? Oh, man. Shoot. Yeah. All right, man. So come with it, Jay. We got Desmond Zulu in. We got Maurice Mathis has just joined Alabama. So come with it, man. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I seen that. I just seen that. So I ain't know nothing about the wide receiver. Could you tell me a little about him?
Yo, I'm trying to find out more about him as well. Maurice Matthews, the only thing that I could really tell you is that he is in the class of 2026. So they added him on in that class. He'll be a freshman. I think he's about 6'1", 190 pounds. Alabama now up to 8 wide receivers because you got MJ Cherwig, who got moved to scholarship yesterday. So now we're at 8 total wide receivers. But in terms of like other detail, I can't really tell you much more. I'm going to dive into it, as we kind of move forward to be more prepared on him to discuss him kind of throughout this next week.
Okay, I'm just glad I got some good news. I just got through watching church, and then I seen you still alive. I said, "Oh yeah, I caught him just in time." And then when I seen the picture of the post that said that he committed, I said, "Oh damn, I missed it. He committed."
Yep.
I got to say before I was thinking, I was like, "Okay, there we go." Yeah. I really do think our defense can be mustered this year. Like, I think the development of our defense has improved year by year. And it's our offense. Yeah. Our offense line, I agree with you, Kyle. I don't think we're going to get rid of our offensive coach.
I'm the offensive line coach Cap.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, all we gotta do is just pray that he does better.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yep.
Pray he does better.
Yep.
That's all I got, Kyle. Appreciate you, Kyle. Love you, Kyle. Guys are great.
All right, man. Take it easy. Yep. That's Jay calling in outside of somewhere in Nebraska. Anybody else in Nebraska? Anyone lived in Nebraska? Yo, you know I lived in Iowa, right? Where does anybody else live in Iowa before? I was in Pella. Anybody been to Pella, Iowa before? How about Des Moines? Start with Des Moines. Where my Des Moines fan at? Hey, family, thanks for watching the Call-In Show right here on Bama Football on YouTube, on Wake Up Bama. Get inside the comment box. Remember to hit that thumbs up. Let's get over 500 thumbs up, and I'll see you live at 10 a.m. right here on Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam.